Pardon me, I'm just making sure everything sounds alright. Alright, looks like everything's alright. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay. If need be, I'll slide it forward just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Looks like we're in business, folks. So, with that being said, yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and happy Halloween, everybody. I know I couldn't dress up the way I wanted to. I couldn't get the Black Panther suit like I wanted to go with the official helmet. I couldn't get the suit jacket I wanted to make my secondary outfit, which was a member of the Men in Black. I couldn't get that either, but I did the next best thing. I tried to get as close as I could. So, let me first start off with this. Under this mask is another mask! Sorry, I had to take a couple of cues from Kakashi Sensei just a little bit, just to mess with you guys a little bit. But yeah, I feel like this is something Deadpool would do. He would have on all of Black Panther stuff, and then he would still have on his mask underneath. I feel that's what Deadpool would do, honestly. But hope there's another mask under that Deadpool one. I probably should have put on that Spider-Man one underneath it. But unfortunately, the Spider-Man one that I have, it's not as form-fitting as this Deadpool one is. Because mind you, this is like a Velcro stitch in the back type of mask. It's not like official where it just completely goes over my head and it just form fits to my body. It's just a mask that I got from GameStop, which was there at the time, and I'm probably gonna have to invest in some official masks. But let me just go ahead and get highs and hellos out of the way for everybody. And why does the mouthpiece of this mask feel this way? Why is it sticking out? This feels weird. Hold on, let me move my head. I think this is correct. There we go. I can kind of move my eyes a little bit, like moderately, and then open them back up. But it's not exactly, I don't have it exactly down to a science. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another iteration of One Piece Reflections for the month of October. Now, this month we got 4 solid, pristine chapters of One Piece, with the last one being on, well, pretty much today, on the last day of October, on Halloween no less. And I gotta say, it's a very good cliffhanger type chapter. So, let's go ahead and actually, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Would you prefer if I did it with the mask on or off? I don't care either way. If you guys prefer to see my face, then that'll be all right. As long as no kids come in here and look at my face and says "monster" when I don't have a mask on, I think I should be fine. Wait, what? There was a chapter today? Yes, it's a good thing. Here's the thing. Sometimes chapters get translated early, as long as I'm comfortable. Okay, mask is coming off. Breathe, boy, breathe. But all in all, I'm good as far as today. And another thing, I said I wanted to show this off to you guys. Now, officially, here we go. It can light up. And I can see you guys by causing the visor to come up as well. This is a very good helmet. I love this so much. It's a shame I didn't get the full outfit for Black Panther. Otherwise, I would have made this a more costume-oriented stream. But I digress. But that's just something I said I wanted to show off to you guys when I had it. So we got 4 solid chapters of One Piece. I know I'm talking about a whole bunch of extra. But I do tend to check on Thursdays because sometimes chapters get translated beforehand. And we sometimes get them on a Thursday rather than a Friday. That's why I always check on Thursday just in case they get translated early. And it's a good thing I did that when I got home from work because there was a chapter here waiting for me. And I just recorded that as soon as I could. I already got it up on the channel if you guys want to take a look a little bit later. But yeah, we got 4 chapters of One Piece. Now, as suggested, from now on, when it comes to me doing reflections on chapters of One Piece or maybe My Hero Academia in the future, I will always go to the official translated pages. So that way we can skim through them, talk about them a little bit, and then we kind of culminate in everything. That way we have the official translation. Nothing's getting lost in translation. And that way it can be more cohesive for everyone watching. So let me go ahead and pull up the second window. So we got chapters 958 all the way up to 961. And it amazes me how close we get to 1,000 chapters of One Piece. Like, I never would have thought. But we start out with chapter 958, The Promised Port. We'll read through it real quick and talk about all the things that are happening. So it pretty much cuts to earlier in the One Piece story where Gold Roger, where the Roger pirates are all sailing, and it's showing Odin is on there with them. Everyone's drinking, having a good time. You see Rayleigh, you see Shanks, you see Buggy, you see Crocus. You see Crocus arguing with Roger, telling him to slow down on the drinking. Then Odin is all, I've always had my reservations about why the land of Wano must keep its borders closed. I can't leave the country behind and then come back and demand, make me the shogun, but I will find a way to pass this will on. And we cut back to like later pages. And you know what's amazing? The fact that this dude was a part of Roger's crew, and we see members of Roger's crew that we haven't seen before. Like, we got these 2 really big dudes in the back that I never really noticed before. I shall work with my excellent vassals that I left back home to open the land of Wano and wait for a future in 20 years from now. And this, of course, is the chapter that starts Act 3 of Wano. And this is Hakumai Habu Port. This is when Orochi is taking his ship along with Fukurokuju and the Onewabanchu out to Onigashima to celebrate with the Fire Festival. This port is the largest in Wano. It features a massive wharf lined with maple trees, where the ships depart through the stunning vermilion curtain of falling leaves. Ooh, this is worded a lot better than the one we got translated over on Jaimini's box, I must say. Kiyoshiro will be watching over the capital this time. Enjoy yourselves. Poor sucker, he doesn't get to join in the fun. I still got reservations about Kiyoshiro. I still have feelings like he's a double agent, and there's some things about him that we just haven't seen quite yet. But I feel like once we are done with the recent chapters of One Piece and the story it's telling us so far, I feel like we're going to learn more about him. Or we could possibly see a younger version of him way back when. Because how old is Kiyoshiro? He doesn't look like he could be older than his 20s, but of course he could be in his 30s. Who knows? But Orochi's there once a year on the island of Onigashima. The 2 men who rule over Wano meet to hold a great feast for both of their armies. And everyone is celebrating in the flower capital. Today is the Fire Festival in the capital. It's the one time of the year that drinks can flow freely. Bring out the sake. Buy me a candy apple, mommy. Everyone's celebrating. Everyone's having fun. by region, and the daily weather is equally different by location. So the sky's complexion changes from place to place. On Udon and Wano, it is covered in like endless rain, gathering place for the battle. And it's here that we see most of the scabbards standing there with Momonosuke in the background with Shinobu. You have Shuten Maru, you got Kawamatsu, Kinemon, Raizo, Kanjuro, Okiku, and you got Inuarashi, Negamamushi, Inuarashi, all standing in front. Not a single ship, so the cat didn't make it in time, but Udon was neutralized. So we're pretty much at the promised port where everyone was supposed to meet, but not a single ship is there. And Momonosuke is all, let's try another day, please, Kinemon. But Shinobu's all like, Master King, we can't do this tonight. There are signs that this port was attacked. Where are our 4,000 soldiers? No one is there. They were all supposed to meet there, but no one's there right now. Why is no one here? Where have they all gone? And everyone starts to get tears in their eyes, and they start to get like all forlorn. We are the vassals of Kozuki Oda, come from 20 years in the past to carry out the port. The time has come for us to spend the lives that should have perished back then. But our lives alone are not enough. The enemy numbers 40,000. We need... I wonder why the quality went down for the stream real quick on my end. It did that automatically. I don't know why that did. Hey, Kevin Dumbo, how you doing? And then Shuten is okay. Enough Kinemon. Everyone is... Shinobu's getting tears in her eyes. Momonosuke is getting teary-eyed. Just look at the sky, the sea and sky. The heavens had turned against us. There will be no help. Then I can only assume something has happened to them. There is a small boat here. We can use it. And Inuarashi is strangely calm in this and saying, we're going to go over there. What are you doing, Dogstorm? Stop this. Translation for Inuarashi. And on Onigashima, and then you have Orochi just looking with like a crazed look in his eye. The incident already happened the previous night. And that... Okay, just read today's chapter. Now you're back. Yes, because I'm definitely going to go into it while we go past all these chapters. I'm probably going to skim through it, so I probably won't be going on for, hopefully, not an hour long. It'll probably be shorter than that, but we'll talk a little bit about these chapters. To meet them in the previous chapter is now gone. What's wrong with the stream? So glitchy. It's kind of fidgety a little bit. I mean, I changed the quality on it for my end. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Is everything good now? Everyone good? Seems okay. Okay, I probably should have put the landline in this. Hopefully, if I put the landline, it doesn't, stop the stream and keep me from saying what I need to say. But I'm going to keep going. You guys keep me posted. If it says anything else, I'm only going to have like the page up here, but I'll have the chat up to the side. So I don't need to see myself doing all this. So moving on to chapter 959. This is simply titled Samurai. We get more of Capone's Oh My Family and Dressrosa, and we still see the aftermath of Doflamingo's Torikago, just leaving streaks throughout the entire city. So, 2 days before the final battle, this puts our total manpower at about 4,200. Well done, everyone. Use your remaining time to travel and prepare. Pretty much everyone's getting ready and settling before they set out for the promised port. All right, folks, let's finish up enough ships to carry 5,000 men. I'm skipping over a lot of these, but I'm covering the main points. Can you move all these ships to the port in time? We're on top of it, Boss Franosuke. Good. And they're at Itachi Port in Kuri. We're going to go meet up with our friends at Amigasa Village now so we can leave on the sunny on the big day. Thanks for all the help. You guys are incredible shipwrights. And they're looking at the minks and everyone's thanking them. Don't mention it. Now let's wind up and sock the Animal Kingdom pirates in the mouth. So I'm pretty sure this is the translation of the Beast Pirates. I'm so used to them saying Beast Pirates rather than Animal Kingdom, Animal Kingdom Pirates. All around Wano, we have Ocho and the others should be hauling the katanas here from Ringo. We're prepping with whatever armor we've got already, and we've got plenty of these weapons for export that we could use, assuming we can figure them out. Right, because they're so used to using like simple samurai swords and melee weapons, they're not used to using anything like cannons. Yo, the Mochi Man, it's good to see you. We're going through the chapters of One Piece right now. We're on chapter 959. We got 960 and then 961. And then we'll talk about some eventual theories about what could possibly happen in this story. We don't want people gathering too early or it might draw attention. On the morning of the big day, the Shogun's procession will go from the capital to the harbor, from the flower capital to Habu port. Once they've left for Onigashima, the fire festival begins in the capital. No one will pay any attention to us then. The best timing would be to meet at the second hour of the bird just before sunset, but the Shogun still has officials left behind in the mainland, the main Yoshiro, with him taking the Oniwabanshu with him. Be cautious all the way to the end. Don't let them report about us to Onigashima. And then they cut to Amigasa village with Hitetsu, and we can use all this stuff. Of course. What an awesome helmet. I want to show this to Usopp. So we have Luffy, we have Brook, and we have Chopper all gizzying themselves up in full-on samurai gear. They look absolutely flawless. Kaido, if he tries to stop me, I'll slice him in two. Luffy doesn't even know how to use a sword. The last time he had a sword in hand, he was punching people with his fist, with the sword still in hand. He was just punching people with the guard. So he doesn't know how to use a sword whatsoever. If he had that shadow from Thriller Bark, then maybe he'd know how. You would think that he would have some of him having some swordsmanship after being after having that one shadow attached to him during the Thriller. Robin's all, you look so cute, you look like horn beetles. Why don't you put on some of that stuff too? Nah, it'll only slow me down. Yeah, that's why your bounty is lower. And then Zoro sliced off another piece of the mountain. Well, watch it. Don't make me end you. What do you two think you're doing? So, yeah, Zoro's salty. He's salty just a little bit. Then we have Robin saying, Orochi said it's winter at the entrance to Onigashima, so it's cold. What do you mean, entrance? The seasons are sharply different all over Wano. Our coats, says Kara, is less of a concern to us than the weather. The big day should be a full moon, but it will be useless if it's hidden by clouds. So here's one thing I'm wondering. We've seen the Sulong form of Peckham's, and we've seen the Sulong form of Carrot. I wonder what the Sulong forms for Shishilian, Consulate, and Giovanni look like. And now Giovanni's a mink zebra. What does a Sulong form of a horse mink look like? Like, we've seen forms that have claws and sharp teeth and everything, but what does one look like when you're equestrian? I'm just wondering. Just little things that I'm wondering about. Sorry, something is in my eye. Every time I put that mask on, it's almost like it presses my eyelashes. I'm good though. That's true. If all the minks transform like Carrot, there'll be a huge battle force, turning Sulong to human. What's more important is just that the Cat Viper and the Guardians arrive here in time. Nekomamushi. What's the matter, Luffy? Big Mom's already here, but Jinbei isn't yet. Yes, that's one thing we've neglected to kind of touch up on, is the fact that Jinbei hasn't made his way to Wano yet. And yet, because he stayed behind to give the Straw Hats, well, to give the rest of his crew time to escape. And that was to hold back Big Mom and her crew. But Big Mom and her crew are in Wano. So where's Jinbei? Even though he was the one who helped us escape from her. Allow me to hold down the end of the line. Don't forget, Jinbei, your captain is me now. We'll be waiting in Wano, so you better show up. He made up his mind. He joined our crew. Yeah, we'd be happy to have him. There's still time. I'm sure he'll come if he's alive. Yes, he's alive. He'll come. And then we cut to Okobore town in Kuri, where Hold'em is pretty much interrogating a lot of people. Ebisu town outside of the flower capital, Ushimitsu Kozo came by. But I haven't heard of any thefts in the capital. Still, here's the goal. We can't take part in the fire festival tomorrow, but at least we can buy some water to drink. Then we have Hold'em. We burned down the bandits' mountain, but they didn't come back to get vengeance on us, and the crops at the farm are still being stolen in huge quantities. You must know something about this, and they're interrogating people. And it comes down to the wire where he decides to interrogate Suru. And, well, actually, Suru willingly says, I will show you, just don't hurt anyone else. Show me so you know something. You'll see if you follow me. It's a long trip, however. Do they have so many great people that they need a great amount of food for them all? Are you here in Wano somewhere, Keen? I was stunned when I saw Kikunojo. I'll handle this. I won't let them find you. Just bring us back to the Kozuki days. And then everyone's protesting. Oh, Tsuru, please don't sacrifice yourself to cover for us. It's all right. Our dream of stuffing ourselves full before we die has been fulfilled. And then Hold'em kind of... Our dreams of stuffing ourselves full before we die has been fulfilled. And then Tsuru says, huh? Oh, yeah, says Hold'em. And then it cuts to some flying gifters. One with birds, one with a bird torso attached to a guy's head, and one that has butterfly wings. The night before the battle, they spot the Sunny inside of like a little alcove out to sea on Kuri Beach. And I see it, all right, there it is, then do as you're ordered. If you want it done, that's easy enough. And it makes it appear like they blow up the alcove where the Thousand Sunny is. Now, I highly doubt that it's that easy to destroy. I mean, it is made out of atom wood, but I feel like the Sunny is, that's not this. I feel like the Sunny's safe. I feel like that's it. Bombs away, just do as I say, and it turns out that this is Orochi, and he's strategically going through different places throughout Wano, cutting off ways for all of those part of the rebellion to get across. He's destroying the bridge between Kibi and Udon, destroying the bridge between Ringo and Hakumai, destroying pretty much any connections that can make it easy for all the rest of them to go there. And he also goes to the Tachi port in Kuri, and he destroys all of the ships that are there as well. Well, he has them destroyed. He doesn't personally destroy them, but he has them all destroyed myself. But we're to believe they flew here from 20 years in the past, from that burning castle. Nope, the Sunny is gone. Frankie will be upset and have to build a new ship. I still feel like the Sunny may be fine. It might be damaged, but I don't think it's destroyed yet. If it's destroyed, I'm gonna be surprised. From that burning castle, hard to believe without seeing their heads in person. Hard to believe even with seeing them, I imagine. And he destroyed the bridge between Kuri and Udon. So it's hard enough to get my vassals to believe the story, and then that idiot Yasuye had to go and make it worse. It was just a little prank, bro. It's a little prank. He made it out to be a joke, but the intel is solid. Consider my words to be nonsense at your own peril. I have the power to act upon them. If I cut off all the routes to there. Hear me, Akazaya ghosts. You will taste the despair of being utterly alone in this world. The Thousand Sunny was supposed to be Frankie's magnum opus, which was supposed to build a ship that could sail all across the Grand Line. So I thought that's what the Thousand Sunny was. If the Thousand Sunny ends up getting destroyed, then it could be the ultimate ship. Plus, this way, Luffy can finally have that giant ship he dreamed of very early in the manga and the show. Oh, you mean the one where he's daydreaming about having a giant, massive ship when he's talking to Zoro? That size ship? Maybe. But I still feel like Thousand Sunny is far too important to the storyline as far as being the one main way that the crew gets around for it to be destroyed. I mean, I know we've been in the time skip for a number of years now, but I just feel like they would just simply destroy it. You this some scale where all of the Straw Hats would see it destroyed. And it would be done in a way to like emotionally impact everyone. Like they see it being destroyed, not like it being destroyed overnight and no one knows what happens until after the fact. It lessens bit my tongue. It lessens the emotional impact if it was blown up before the Straw Hats became was there to see it. Sorry, my tongue kind of hurts a little bit. But I feel like the Thousand Suns being destroyed outside of the view of the Straw Hats would kind of negate the impact they would have on the rest of the crewmates. That's just how I feel. If it does happen in the future, it's got to be done in front of them. That incites the anger of the crew, causes them to fight harder than they ever could against whatever enemy has done it, reason to push on and then make another ship. Presently, Tokage Port in Udon. Everyone is lamenting over the fact that no one's there. Stop this, all of you. This is nothing but suicide. Let us turn back for now to wait for another chance. Momonosuke's trying to get everyone to see reason, but it's really panning out the way he wants. If we let this opportunity pass, the next will not come for another year, and we cannot stay in hiding any longer than this. They've risked so much to bring this rebellion to pass that if they wait another chance, they're more than likely to get either killed or captured. Our control over Udon will be revealed momentarily. Kaido will send his entire army to hunt down all of the rebels, and that includes the Calamities, and we already know how strong they are. They're very strong, and not everyone has Big Mom levels of tankiness. There's only so much food that we can steal. Surely you heard about what happened before we left Kuri. The people of Okobori for our crimes. The village was burned to the ground. My wife was among them. Let us do this, Lord Momonosuke. Would you command us to flee and no further shame? Then what happens to me? We want you to your Lord Father started out alone too. If we had we were all untested youth. Also, crew supposed to be on the ship as they were. I feel like they weren't on the ship. I feel like it was there that they were waiting. They said that we're going to sail on the Sunny tomorrow when it's time. But I feel like they are possibly asleep elsewhere or something else has happened to them. But I don't think they're on the ship as a whole. Plus, I think it's too soon for the Sunny to be suffering damage. I mean, it suffered enough damage when it was getting ransacked by Big Mom when she caught up to them during the Whole Cake Island arc. I feel like there's a certain set of damage that has to happen to the Sunny per arc or every other arc. That's just how I feel. But I don't think anything really substantial has happened to the Sunny, nor do I think any of the crew is actually on the ship as well. Which is why, to the very last moment, we wish to be Lord Odin's samurai. Listen up, people. Our centuries of isolation are deeply tied to the Kozuki clan's existence. But eventually, the time will come. The world will begin to shift, and before it does, you must open Wano's borders. And this is when we start to cut to 39 years in the past, in the flower capital. Hide your daughters, hide your wives, close up your shops, hide your livestock, hurry, he's coming. And in the capital, one man was the talk of the town. Kozuki Odin has returned. Feels like I'm being crushed to death. He must have failed at sailing off again. Why don't you die already? It's too cramped. And this is the chapter where we eventually start to get introduced to Kozuki Odin himself. And this is the end of chapter 959. Then the next chapter, we move on to 960, and this is the chapter where we actually see Odin for the first time. And we see that he's had quite a few impressive feats in his youth, leading up to him being older. Because mind you, all the way up until chapter 961, he is at the age of 18, which we'll go further delve into as we go into it. But chapter 960 is introducing Kozuki Oden, or Kozuki Oden takes the stage, depending on which translation you go by. Lush deep forest, as far as the eye can see. This is 39 years in the past, back when Kaido never touched on Wano, back when Orochi was not in power, and all of Wano was a lush, beautiful landscape. Lush, deep forest, as far as the eye can see, where flowers and plants grow thick and verdant, from the pure coursing river water leading to the crystal blue sea. This is the story of Wano. I got one from the time when life was still abundant. Then we cut to the tea shop, or like a little snack shop, little shop over in someplace in Wano, where we see a young it's a tea house. Tea house says it right there. A young waitress, tea house at the Cape of Miss Suru, before she was married to Kinemon, before she and Kinemon were ever a thing. And a couple of Yakuza members are there, and they're getting treated by they're getting served by Suru. And it turns out that they found like a little white boar. But one thing is, it's true, I saw it. The mountain was moving. The mountain? That's right. We were running for our lives from a moving mountain just now. It was groaning at us. So we kind of find out what that actually is later in this chapter. That might be the work of the mountain god. But why is it that you three look so pleased, huh? We just can't hide anything from you, Suru. So it turns out that in their travels, while running from this mountain god or mountain or whatever, they find a little white boar and say that you can get a whole platinum for them. They say white gold in a different translation. 1 platinum coin? That's enough to buy a gorgeous home. The Kurokoma. Yes, Kurokoma. Because in the translation I read for chapter 960, it switched between Kurokoma and Kurokama. But I'm glad the official translation says Kurokoma. I was really hoping that it was Kurokoma because that sounds a little bit more natural. The Kurokoma boss wants the legendary white boar to display outside his place for all to see. There was a bounty on the beast, but no one was ever able to find it. As a sideshow? No! White boars are the agents of the gods. Oh, you're so sweet. It's just a rare creature, that's all. And then Suru notices that someone's trying to slink away after trying to steal something, and it turns out to be none other than Kinemon! You were just taking money from my purse again, weren't you? Fess up, Kinemon. Ah, stop, Miss Suru. We've known each other since we were kids. And he tries to smooth things over, but Suru says, the next time you try to steal from me, I will collect what's mine by selling your organs. So yeah, Suru don't play. You steal from her, she gonna steal from you, and it might be from your insides. If you can't pay me back, I'm going to shake you down for everything you've got on you, clothes included. Well, old Suru, thanks for the food. We'll just leave the payment here on the table. And as they leave, it makes it seem like Suru's just further beating up Kinemon for trying to steal from her. Then it cuts to Kinemon pretty much ambushing the guys who caught that little white boar. And we finally get a title for him. He's just simply known as Thug from the Capital, Kinemon. And did you think I couldn't hear you babbling on? And he just steals the boar from them. All they have to do is just hand this over to the Kurokoma boss. And, hey, you, give me your clothes and your wallets. So he's standing with no clothes on except the loincloth. So she really did take everything that he had, except for a sword. So, yeah, Suru just pretty much took everything that he had on him just to slightly pay off the debt that he owes her. And then it cuts to the flower capital where we have the retainer for Sukiyaki, Kozuki Sukiyaki, where it's explaining never take a samurai sword. Yeah, never do that. She took everything but his sword. Well, and then we cut to retainer in the flower capital speaking to Lord Sukiyaki. Well, it seems that Lord Oden has no talent for sailing. He has attempted to break our laws and set sail to sea. I believe this is 38 times now. I'm amazed he survived them all. To quickly sum up his life thus far, before the age of 1, he threw his wet nurse to the ground. At age 2, he was quick enough to catch 2 hares at once. At age 4, he obliterated a bear by hurling a boulder at it. At age 4, he killed a bear by throwing a boulder at it. This dude was Chuck Norris at a young age. By age 6, he was regularly visiting the pleasure halls and spending the palace's money. This dude matured at age 6. And then we have the face of Kozuki Sukiyaki just looking on in utter dismay. This boy. I can imagine George Takei voicing him. This boy will be the end of me. Oh my. Shogun of Wano, Odin's father. At the age of 8, in a drunken rage, he engaged in a brawl with other gamblers, and by 9, he was on the Yakuza blacklist, forbidden from entering the gambling den. At age 9, before he even hit double digits, he was already Yakuza had already banned him from their gambling side, and he was already gambling. In revenge, he set fire to the den and waged war on the Yakuza. He was arrested for assault, and this was just at the age of 10. For rehabilitation as a prisoner, he was sent to the quarry where his talent blossomed. In fact, he rose to the rank of Chief Stonemason. That's the Kozuki blood in him. From there, he left prison and reformed his ways. When Lord Odin was 14, the capital was in a terrible drought. Unable to bear the sight of people suffering from dried-out wells, he curved the river itself to run through the capital. The resulting flood damages led to another warrant for his arrest, but Lord Odin attempted to ride that river directly out of the country, at which he also failed. George Takei would be awesome for that role. That's what I think. So yeah, Kozuki Odin has nothing but just constant trouble in his wake whenever he does something. Then, when he was 15, he threatened the priest of a secluded mountain temple into sheltering him. He would abduct women from the capital late at night to take back to his own personal harem. It's like something a spirit or goblin would do. I should add, however, that the women were always free to leave if they wanted to. This, however, provoked the ire of the men in those women's lives. Fathers, husbands, hardy samurai who joined their cause. Lord Odin gleefully met them in battle. This is widely known now as the Harem War. Even the Hyogoro family was drawn into the fighting, and he attempted to restore peace. The total number of casualties caused by Lord Odin single-handedly was over. Enough. I've heard enough. Yes, sire, Lord Odin is now 18, and he continues to stir up trouble at a healthy rate. Say nothing to Odin, just give him this. And it's a letter that just says disowned on it. Then we cut to the flower capital, and it's Kinemon trying to, get rid of the white boar so we can get that one piece of platinum, but people are chasing him saying that, I know you're lying, don't let him get away. Then it cuts to the Yakuza of the capital, Hyogoro the Flower, who is ridiculously tall and fat. So when you get old in One Piece, do you shrink in size? I think that happens to a lot of people. I mean, it doesn't happen for Garp. That dude is still massive, and he's like, in his 70s, I think? He's about as old as Whitebeard, I want to say. Catch him and flay all the skin off his body. That sounds a lot more brutal than the translation that we got for this chapter. Just don't fight him man to man. He's stronger than any of you. Nice joke, boss. We'll catch him in no time. All those men will die if they don't listen to him. Then we cut to someone selling in the district. You bought the wrong pot. Well, the larger kind will cost you 60 silver. Yeah, so will you take back the 30 silver pot I bought earlier in exchange? Yes, of course. And I already paid you 30 silver when I first bought this one, plus the value of the pot makes 60 silver, so I'll take the big one. That checks out. Pleasure doing business. And it turns out that this individual is Denjiro, who just outright outsmarted the guy to give him more money back for something that costs less to return. You gotta be kidding me. He just bilked 30 silver off that guy. Wake up, General Store. Hey, Denjiro. Huh? What the? How come I only have 30 silver now? Yep, outsmarted by Denjiro. He's a whiz he's Denjiro's got street smarts. That's all I can say. But it cuts to the crematory in the flower capital. Sir Samurai, please, you must stop him. Grandpa Katsuzo! There, don't cry. Then again, it is a funeral, so crying is expected. What's the matter? The cremation is finished, so the family is going to go in to collect the bones, but look at him. He's boiling a pot of Odin. Once again, more foreshadowing. Boiling a pot of Odin over my father's remains. Odin, you say? And this is when we get our first view of the Macho Man Kozuki Savage himself, eating a boiling pot of Odin over the still smoldering remains of these people's father and grandfather. Faith. I can't even tell what he's saying. Get away from my father's remains. He's disgracing my father-in-law's death. And he's eating and he's talking, fits his MO. Drinks some sake and he continues to eat. Then he sops down the rest of this Odin broth. So long then. The self and the women are just swooning over him. Even though he's like mad disrespectful in terms, the women just swoon over him. And he left an incense candle behind, along with his sake gourd for Katsuzo. Have you come here to apprehend me? Yes, but I'll accept a bribe too. You're not supposed to say that. What's going on here? No one's avoiding me like usual. Seems there's a fire that that's got them preoccupied. The bells have been ringing. Hey, is there a big fire? It's not the fire. It's not the fire that's big. And Kozuki and Odin just looks on like, huh? Don't you know what that is, Keen? You shouldn't be carrying that thing around. What? This white boar? Don't you think the Kurokoma boss is trying to use it to destroy the Hyogoro family? What do you mean, Denjiro? And this is where we find out why taking the white boar was a bad idea. I mean that wherever that piglet is found, the adult boar is sure to come charging. The ancient scrolls say that a white boar the size of a mountain. That's what they call the mountain god. There's a story about it destroying an entire village in the course of a night several hundred years ago. I always thought it was just a tale, but now that I've seen this white boar for myself, the big one must be. And then we have people screaming in the distance of the of the flower capital. The mountain god! The mountain god is real! We'll all be devoured! Many have succumbed already! Abandon the capital! Flee for your lives! And we just see like the close-up shot of a snout of a giant boar. It's come for revenge! Did I just accidentally doom the capital? That was a fascinating story you just said, whoever you are. Kozuki Odin! Give that boar to me. Huh? And that pretty much concludes the chapter of 960. Now, mind you, since 961 came out today, the official translated page is not available today, so we're going to have to resort to reading through the one that was released today. So let me pull that up real quick. And it's called The Mountain God Incident, though I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the name for the official translation. And here, what will Odin do about the giant mountain god? And here we have Kinemon getting all frantic about it. Could the capital really get destroyed over this little thing? And, oh, be quiet. And the pig is squealing, and Odin tries to take the boar from him. But Kinemon, for some odd reason, still wants to hold on to him, even though Odin is trying to take it away. That is why I told you to give it to me. No, please wait. This boar is worth a piece of white gold. Platinum. I could finally pay off my debts, and then I could. And then we have Denjiro just literally awestruck at the fact that he's standing in front of Kozuki Odin because apparently he's a massive fan. He's the only adult that Denjiro does not see as a fool and doesn't despise. And he actually respects him. And then everyone's the mountain god would only come down the mountain if his child was kidnapped. Then we have like a doomsayer saying, so somebody brought his child here. White boars being the heralds of the gods is ancient knowledge. Many assumed it was only a superstition. We must appease the mountain god's fury quickly. Keep an eye out for a small white boar. If we fail to return it to the mountain, this capital will be destroyed. And then it cuts to the boar itself just tearing through town, and it is absolutely massive, being able to swallow both houses and people whole. And then we got people who are crushed under buildings. We got fires being broken out as the boar is just like rampaging through the entire capital. And then it cuts to one of the guys who was there who got beaten up by Kinemon because they had the boar, but Kinemon took the boar from there. And he's trying to tell Kinemon that it's pretty much ate it pretty much ate the other two guys who were with me, and it's following the scent of the little piglet. And it's saying that your friend Otsuru got caught up in the mess as well, and they were all eaten. So this sends Kinemon into a rage, and he drops the pig, and he stares it down, and he tries to jump at it, and embeds his sword into the snout of the pig itself. Give me back Otsuru! And he jumps, embeds his sword into it, and the pig just basically manhandles him. Even though Kinemon jumps back at him multiple times, embedding his sword in his snout and his forehead, the boar itself keeps throwing Kinemon all over the place. And it gets to the point where he's thrown on his back, and it looks like things don't look all that well for... It doesn't look all that well for Kinemon until we hear a voice say, "Hey, boar, is this what you've been looking for?" And Kozuki stands right in front of the boar, holding the piglet in his hand, just daring the boar to come down on him. Kozuki, and that cursed child, he is behind another disaster, and pretty much everyone is automatically assuming that the whole ordeal is Odin's fault. He caused this. I was craving some roasted boar. Give me back my mother! How could you do something so cruel? Give me back my daughter! And then Kinemon is thinking like, no, wait, I'm the one responsible for this. And as the boar charges him, he drops the pig, goes Odin two-sword style, and in a flash, in one fell swoop, he slices clean through the entire boar with Togen Shirataki. Why did I say Shirataki? There's no K in front of the K. There's no K in there, except at the end. There's no K in there. Why did I say Shirataki? It's Togen Shirataki, which translated means paradise waterfall. Slices clean through the boar with both Ame no Habakiri and Enma itself. And he just slices through the boar. Like one clean cut from mouth to back. And it's dead. It's just dead. And everyone looks around in utter shock and amazement. Denjiro's got flashes in his eyes like Luffy does whenever he sees anything mechanical that Frankie does. And Hyogoro just looks on, impressive. We should head back. And as that goes down, it is said that an entire village worth of people was eaten by the boar. The capital may have survived, but nearly a quarter of the city was lost. Miraculously, there were no human fatalities. So the unique thing about the way Odin sliced it, he sliced it so that anyone who was swallowed by the boar could get out. Because he sliced it from the mouth all the way back through his stomach, so anyone who was swallowed by the boar could be taken outside. Like there's a ladder on the bottom half of the boar itself. I never noticed that, but I now understand how they were all able to get out, because Odin pretty much sliced them off and took the lid part of his body off so everyone could get out, which I find is a very well thought out way of getting to everyone. Then it cuts to Sudu embracing Kinemon. What Odin did was so cool. We should probably thank him, but it was his fault in the first place. He's a criminal. He was so cool, I almost cried out in awe. Everyone listen, I have a confession to make. And everyone looks at him for a brief moment before Odin walks by, knocks him out, and says that would be pointless. Then the retainer for the Kozuki family comes up to Odin, lets him know he's been disowned and also exiled from the capital. How pathetic, Lord Shogun. It looks like you know the entire flower capital has admitted that it cannot handle me anymore. This is exactly what I wanted. Time to head to the other side of the river. I will be sleeping there by sunset. By age 18, dude isn't even 20 years old. By age 18, Odin had caused the mountain god incident, and he just simply walks out of town. And then it cuts to Kinemon, where he says, I would happily die for someone like him. And Denjiro says, I feel the same way, and they both scramble to try and catch up to one. Hey, wait up, Denjiro. He inspired me first. The emotional weight is different. I will be his first follower. And as that goes on, some people are thinking in their minds, I envy those free spirits. I want to go with them too. At that moment, these men suppressed their desire to follow Odin. And on this day, the balance of the capital was tilted in more ways than one. Then we cut to Hakumai in Wano. Welcome, welcome, Lord Odin. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Lord Yasuye has been looking forward to your arrival. Stop lying. No way he would be happy to see me. Then we see the man, the myth, the legend, the hedgehog himself, Shimotsuki Yasuye, before the smiles. And he says I would not get excited over an exiled fool for the capital. What do you want, Odin? And you even brought some henchmen with you. Please, hold on. There's a puddle here. All right, please step over me to cross the puddle. And it's some servant that just falls out in front of him. And, hey, uncle, what's with this creepy weirdo? Do not be so rude. He is my newest servant. And it turns out that this newest servant, who was quick to throw himself in front of a puddle in front of Odin and in front of Yasuye and dirty himself, says, hey, I was taken in by Lord Yasuye. My name is Orochi. I am but a humble servant. And this is where chapter 961 ends, and we finally see the beginning of pretty much the end a little bit. Let's just go off from there. But these are all the and this chapter we go on break for next week, so we won't be getting a new chapter until the week after next, which allows me to have a little bit of a break, which I'm happy for. But yeah, the last chapter of October ends with our introduction of Orochi. And I feel this is where the theories are going to come in. I feel like along with seeing the history of Odin in the 39 years that leads up to the current day, I feel we're going to see not only the rise of Odin, but also the rise of Orochi and his ambition. Also his partnership with Kaido. And in some ways, we may see some snippets of how he actually manages to get in contact with the world government, even though the Marines themselves have no ties whatsoever to Wano. Orochi is still able to talk to people like Cypherpole, no issue, and negotiate for certain things like weapons and all sorts of different things. So here's my theories on the things that are going to be happening for the coming chapters as we delve more into the history of Kozuki Odin and Kurozumi Orochi. We're going to see his rise to power. I feel like this is Orochi before he get his Yamata no Orochi Zoan Devil Fruit power. I feel like he's just a servant right now. Either that or he's behaving like a humble servant and he secretly hates being a servant and is looking for ways to usurp his role. I feel like we're going to see the fight that happens between Kozuki Odin and Kaido. And we finally see how that scar is made on Kaido, pretty much the only thing that's ever actually able to damage him. And maybe we can find out why Kaido is so invulnerable to everything but the Enma Blade. I feel like we're going to find out what roles Kiyoshiro plays in all of this, because I feel like we're going to see how he comes to be a special retainer for Orochi as we know him in the present. We're going to finally see Denjiro. I feel like that's going to happen because he's the only one pretty much missing out of everyone right now. I feel like we may meet Lady Toki and find out a little bit more about her, because as we know, on the day that the Kozuki family was eradicated, she sent Momonosuke and there were 9 scabbards all into the future, 20 years into the future, because that's her devil fruit power. It allowed her to pretty much travel forward in time multiple times until she settled in the era where Odin was. So I feel like we may see Lady Toki for the first time, and that would be cool to see. So Zoro has the only weapon that has ever hurt Kaido, but it has to be Luffy who defeats him, right? Yes, that is the reason why Luffy was training with Grandpa Hio, so he can learn to use his haki to affect the inside of Kaido rather than externally. So kind of like Luffy's learning Sage Art so he can hit Kaido without actually hitting him and actually affect him from the inside. So while Zoro may have the blade that can cut Kaido, Luffy is learning to use his haki like Rayleigh and Sabo can. So I feel like it has to be Luffy that defeats him, because if it's Zoro who defeats a Yonko, then it kind of downplays Luffy's goal to be the Pirate King, because he has to beat everybody. Like, he has to beat Big Mom, he has to beat Kaido, he has to beat Shanks, and he has to beat Blackbeard before he can, then go on a raft and then get the One Piece. But it just makes me wonder, who is Zoro going to face with that Enma blade in Wano, if he faces anyone at all. He might have another rematch with Kiyoshiro. Who knows? Probably should have brought some water upstairs. That was a lot of talking. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. I said I wasn't trying to go longer than an hour, and I'm already running 2 minutes close to an hour right now. Who knew I would go on this long? But what are you know how I do this. I always give my own impressions. I always paraphrase, and I always give my own theories about what we could expect from these chapters, what I thought of these chapters as a whole, and what we can eventually expect from chapters going into November. We are 2 months away from the next year. I can't believe it. This year is almost over, folks. So if Zoro beats Kaido, does Luffy have to beat Zoro? I feel like that might have to be the case. If you beat Kaido, then I have to beat you. Zoro will probably face King, right? He usually faces the second strongest. Yep, I feel that might be the case. Hopefully, King is a sword user, so that way we can kind of see Zoro stack up against another sword user, because as we've seen, he's gone up against Killer and he's gone up against Kiyoshiro, but that was him without all of his swords, and he only had 2. Now he has 3, and he's using one that belonged to Oden that was capable of wounding Kaido. So now Zoro's at full strength with a sword that essentially makes him a lot more powerful than he was before. So he has to fight someone who's secondary to Kaido in strength. And Luffy has to face Kaido. That's pretty much a given at this point. But what did you guys think of all the chapters as a whole? I honestly wanted to hear your thoughts about everything, because I thought these chapters were really good. And I thought the chapter that we got that's leading up, that pretty much left us out on a break, I thought it was a perfect cliffhanger, because now we have more theories, like who's Orochi? Where did he come from? How did he get the Yamata no Orochi devil fruit? How did he get to power? How did him and Kaido meet up? How did they join together? How did they come to cooperate and, work with one another? How did it get to the point where he and Kaido pretty much ransacked all of the Kozuki family? Was I the only one kind of disappointed with Oden's design? Here's my thing. I was kind of expecting a ridiculous design, but then again, Oda tends to switch it up. Like, I feel like the limits for ridiculous looking designs for characters, I think he limits them to, like, okay, we get shown a ridiculous looking character, and then we don't get shown another one until a little bit later. Then we get normal looking people. For every 2 weird looking people, we get at least 10 other normal looking people, especially when it comes to important people. So, in my honest opinion, he looks like how I would see him if he was part of Roger's crew. Because when you think about it, on Roger's crew, there's not that many ridiculous looking people, save for Buggy, and that's only because his naturally big red nose is a part of his face. Everyone else looks relatively normal in comparison to everyone else. So for you to be on Roger's crew, I think that you kind of got to be a little bit normal. Even though we've seen some really large people, they still look normal in comparison to everyone else. So I'm kind of glad Oda didn't go the route of making him look like really outrageous. And he actually looks like a kind of a macho man, just a little bit. That's just my own personal opinion. Orochi is such a Weasley character, yes, which begs to wonder how he managed to rise to power so vastly. Like, it took 39 years. Let's be honest. It took 39 years to the current day from him being just a humble servant of Yasuie, then becoming and pretty much killing off Odin himself, which makes me wonder, what did they do to get Odin? Because we've seen his feats. Like, he's ridiculously strong. He was capable of killing the giant boar known as a mountain god in one fell swoop. He was able to kill a bear when he was a kid with a boulder. He was able to fling his own wet nurse when he was less than 1. So a person with all these feats, how is it that he was able to be killed by the likes of Kaido and Orochi? That's the question. Like, we know how he died, but how is it that he managed to come under their heel and actually end the way he ended? That's the question. And I wonder if we'll finally see the full extent of the Yamata no Orochi Devil Fruit. One Piece has a lot of flashback stories. I'm actually wondering what percentage of the story so far has been flashbacks. Well, I feel like the story of One Piece is being told to us. Not as like a recurring story that's going on, but the accounts of people who are pretty much retelling the story to us. Because back in Dressrosa, back when the fleet, the Straw Hat Grand Pirate Fleet was being formed, and they were all setting out on their own, one of the subtitles for it was saying that, I'm paraphrasing, but thus the Straw Hat Grand Pirate Fleet was formed, but little did they know that in the future, they would be part of one of the biggest moments in history. And it was odd to me how that was worded, because it makes me think that someone is telling us the entire story of One Piece, of the entire Straw Hat crew, of everything that has transpired and all the history of everything. It's making me think that someone is either telling this story and recounting these events. Someone has once said that it could be Brook telling the story, since technically he can't really die, since he's a slightly immortal skeleton. So some people have said that it's either Brook telling the story or Usopp's telling the story. Well, if Usopp's telling the story, then it would be hard for some people to think that whether what's true and what's not true. So I feel like One Piece as a whole, even though we're getting like all these backstories and all these flashbacks to past things in history, I feel like all of this story, the entire story of One Piece, is just one big massive retelling from someone. Like, the events of One Piece are already over. They are just being recounted to us. That's just how I feel the story is. Of course, someone is telling the story. It's Oda the Arda. Come on, everyone knows that. You know what I mean, Grant. But that's just what I feel about the story as a whole. But I feel like I'm enjoying this flashback, but I hope it's not too long, because I want to know what's happening in the current timeline story. That's what I'm hoping as well. I hope that the pacing for Kozuki Oden's story is not so long where it takes like all of November for us just to go back to the present story. I hope it's like resolved very, very quickly. That's what I'm hoping for. So I hope that it's done like within few chapters, like years pass within panels. Like, we see his feats happen, we see some exposition, just a little bit, but maybe not too long within November, where we kind of finish the story that leads all the way up into the present time. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But it's Oda. He'll figure out a way to make it so that it's enjoyable for everybody. I mean, he's been on fire since Whole Cake Island, I want to say. Like, where every other chapter from him has been very, very, very good. And then Wano has just been phenomenal. Like, every single chapter out of Wano has been absolutely phenomenal. And we're still just starting. We're just still in the start of Act 3 of Wano. Luffy will defeat Kaido, but with some assistance. Probably 10 chapters of the flashback, so December, early January. Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't care either way how long it is. Just as long as it doesn't take us several months to get through this flashback, which I highly doubt that it will. In Dressrosa, we had Law backstory, Dofi, Corazon, Senor Pink, and even bits of Sabo's flashback. We got a lot of flashbacks in Dressrosa. I think that there will be at least 3 or 4 more chapters in these flashbacks. I kind of feel that it may go that route as well. So maybe the rest of November, maybe all of November would be going through the flashbacks and then finishing up, and then going into December we cut back to the present day, or it could be sooner. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But overall, I'm just wondering, how much backstory are we getting? You're enjoying the ride so far. Hey, I'm enjoying it so far. Hopefully before Christmas, we back in the present. That's what I'm hoping for as well. No, even though I'm patient and Oda knows what he's doing when it comes to storytelling, I just hope it doesn't take too long. Because I know some people didn't like the pacing of Dressrosa, and that went on for a very long time. But I have a feeling that Oda's going to do right by us and give us the right amount of exposition, give us the right amount of story, and give us everything that we need without it feeling like it's a slog to get back to the present time. That's how I feel. I still can't believe that Orochi is the servant. Back in the day, Orochi is the servant of Yasuye. Maybe that's the reason why Orochi hated him so much, because maybe that's the reason why he hated Yasuye. He resented him for treating him like a servant the whole time. Some people, I don't know anyone who liked Dressrosa pacing. It's interesting that in present day he kills his former master. Yeah, that now it puts things in perspective. We see why he hates him so much, and why out of everyone he's executed, he puts him up on a crucifix and just guns him down. Like, you were my former master, so now I'm the master of Wano. So now I can do what I want. Didn't mind Dressrosa's pacing because you binged it. That death has a lot more meaning now. Yes, it does. He's not only executing him because he's pretty much doesn't want to live under his rule, or being like, doesn't want to be subservient, but he's killing him because he reminds him of everything he went through as a servant of Yasuye, and the time that he spent as his servant, and the resentment he could have built up as his servant, leading up to the point where he helped kill Odin and brought about pretty much the desolation of Wano itself. So yeah, that death has a lot more weight to it, because it's not just, killing him because he's part of a rebellion, but he's killing him because he reminds him of everything that he pretty much hates about his past, serving under Yasuye and everything else. And I'm just going off of just his first appearance as a servant to Yasuye. We have yet to see any more of him. So who knows how he's actually behaving. He could have started out humble and started to resent him, or he could hate being a servant this entire time. And it's just like a deeply... We don't yet know what he went through as a servant yet. Yasuye doesn't seem like the type of person to mistreat his servants. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I don't think he went through anything as a servant, but I just feel like something's going to happen to cause Orochi to, refuse this whole deal of him being a servant to Yasuye and resent him, and then go on the path of what would lead Wano to where it is now. Him allying with Kaido, him helping to kill Odin, him pretty much trying to destroy the entire Kozuki family. I feel like something is going to happen that's going to cause Orochi to hate the Kozuki family while he's still serving Yasuye, and that will start that whole long line of chaos. That's what I think. But that's just me putting theories out there. There's only so much information we can go on off of the one panel we've seen him in this recent chapter. But overall, I thought that all these chapters were great. But I'm glad I get a break next week, so I actually get a little bit of rest. I'm actually going to give me some rest after I'm done with this stream so I can just sleep a little bit. Actually took like a good 18-minute nap just so that way I can be like fully conscious to do this, so I can give you guys my full attention. Orochi is just a snake who's always wanted power, probably. The only way we're going to find out for sure is when we get that chapter the week after next, which I'm actually anxious for, because I want to know how do you go down that path. A nap, what am I, 5? No, I'm a man who works overnight and who doesn't really sleep during the day. So yes, I take naps. The wet nurse feet sort of reminds me of that one Rick James skit from Dave Chappelle, the milk's gone bad. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for the chapters. I really don't have anything else more to say for these chapters. I mean, I don't want to drone on too long because then it'll just sound like I'm rambling. But we finally see Odin for the first time. He's a ridiculously strong individual. Can't wait to see the fight between him and Kaido. Oda, please let us see him fight Kaido and give him that scar. Don't let this be like done by word of mouth, like Payback War, or when Blackbeard did all this and Blackbeard did all that, and we don't see it at all. Nowhere near as hype as the Wano break chapters. Well, I still think there's a good chapter. It's not as hype as like the chapters where Ultimate, where we saw the revealed bounties of all the Yonkos and past Yonkos, or found out about the Rocks Pirates. But I feel like with these chapters dealing into the past of Odin, we're going to find out why he's so pivotal to the story and why everything seems to fall back on him. Odin versus Kaido will be an excellent way to end the flashbacks. I think so. I would love to see that. Honestly, I ain't got nothing else to say. You guys could talk if you want to, but I don't have anything else to say. I don't want to just talk for the sake of talking. I'm hitting my wall over here. This is such a good wall. But that's pretty much all I got to say for the chapters as a whole, for everything. Oh, while I do have time, I just want to say thank you guys coming out to see me. You didn't have to, but you did. I love doing these reflections. I love talking to you guys and spending time with you. It's an honor and privilege to do this. And I just love, I enjoy it. This is not a job to me. This is not work. This is not something that makes me tired. I just love doing it. You guys help make this channel awesome, and I am nothing but appreciative for all the support that you show. That's all I got. But yeah, I'm eternally grateful. And now I'm actually, oh man, I wish I wasn't so busy this past week, because then I would have been able to actually see One Piece Stampede. It was playing on a Tuesday, but it was also playing at 7 p.m. and I had to go to work that night. Good Lord, I could have actually seen the movie in theaters, because it was only up for a certain amount of days, and I actually missed out on watching One Piece Stampede. I hate that. But that's all I got. If there's nothing else, then I'll just pretty much call it a session here. I got a whole bag of Halloween candy here that my sister brought and said that I can have. Let's see what we got. Candy! We got M&M's. We got some Milky Way bars. We got some Jolly Rancher Pops. What the heck? Ooh, it's watermelon. Got some Twizzlers. I ain't gonna eat that black licorice stuff because that's nasty. But overall, I enjoy myself. Got Halloween candy, but I have to give it out to people. All right. Halloween is tonight. And kids are going to be going out trick-or-treating. That is, if it isn't raining. It's been raining quite a lot lately, but yet, as of right now, the rain has stopped. Like, it was raining crazy hard yesterday, and then all of a sudden it just stopped out of nowhere. The weather has been crazy. It's already night for you. Oh, so you're already having to go through it. Hungry. Go ahead and eat one of these now. 6:15, but it's dark already. That's how the days have been going for me. When it gets close to like maybe 5:30, that's when the sun starts to set. Usually it takes all the way till about 7, but I guess the Earth's rotating faster and it's causing nighttime to come by faster. But then again, we do have daylight savings that's going to be going back next month. Oh, that went down wrong. I will not be done in by Twix. I will not be killed by Twix. But let me stop. You guys didn't tune in to watch me eat food. Daylight savings went back last week for you. Hold on. It's time to fall back. Daylight saving time ends on November 3rd, 2019 on Sunday. So yeah, it's pretty much already set for you. But for us Americans, we got to set it back an hour. Well, it does say most Americans. Daylight savings, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Okay, I'm serious this time. I don't want to drone on too long where I don't talk about anything interesting and it's just me eating some candy. So 27th of October for me. Oh, okay. So it's different for different regions. Okay. Interesting. But that's it. That's all I got for the reflections. The Saturday night is supposed to be daylight saving time. Ah, okay. At 2 a.m. on Saturday? Because that might be what they mean. Different countries, but okay. I feel like it's different, or I'm just reading some misinformation. I might be wrong completely. And I might just be looking at a different website. But yeah, I don't want to go on. I really don't want to go on too long with me just rambling, talking about nothing, hoping for snow this year. So am I! It is October and it's not even cold. It usually gets cold about this year, but it's not. It's like the hottest it gets is still like in the 80s and 90s, and it's October. I live on the east side of the United States, but pardon me, we have yet to get any really, really cold fronts. So yeah, I'm hoping for snow as well. I'm starting to ramble again. Okay, guys, I'm serious this time. I'm serious this time. I'm ending it here because I did my reflections and we talked a little bit. You're Scottish. We love the cold, or we used to, and yet not had a lot of snow. Last year we didn't really. Well, we got snow, but it was only like a little bit. It wasn't like well, yeah, it was actually a massive blizzard last year on the East Coast. It would be nice if we got some more snow again. Maybe some more snow days so I don't have to go in for work. Hoping and praying. Hoping for a white Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. I keep saying I'm going to end the stream, and yet I keep talking. Just like the ones I used to know. I can't sing. I'm a better musician than I am a singer. You ever get candy that slightly tastes like other candies? Stick to instrument. Yep, I am. Always weird tasting candy. Yes, yes. Like that Milky Way tasted like chocolate, but it also had like a slight taste of Twizzler. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Then we got some Annihilators. Got a whole bunch of candy in it. Lemon heads! I just need an everlasting gobstopper. Twizzler. Oh, rope candy. You would call it rope candy. Or like red rope candy. Hold on, let me show you. Looks like this. But we call them Twizzlers. Twizzler Twists. Twisty candy. Ooh, and I got some Jolly Ranchers. Hard candy blue raspberry stick. Yeah, there's tons of candy in here. There's lemon heads, Milky Ways, milk duds, bubble yum. I don't chew bubble gum anymore. There I go, droning on again. Okay, I'm boring you guys. I'm sorry. We have a lot of different candies. Okay, I'm curious. What kind? Both have Milky Way though. So do you have like what is Turkish Delight like? Has anyone ever had Turkish Delight? Like I remember seeing it on the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I've always wondered, what is it like? I keep saying I'm going to end the stream, and yet I'm still carrying on conversation with you guys. You guys are entertaining to talk to. I'm sorry. And don't forget, CJ, we occasionally have the occasional person from Japan stop by every now and again. I had one of them tell me that I should come by Japan because they say that they love the fact that I love One Piece so much. Real Turkish Delight is from Turkey. It's soft and covered in powder and is sweet. White powder, and it has like that jelly looking filling. It's like really stretchy, like almost like really like a lava cake type taffy like in the middle of it. I always wondered, why did Edmund eat it so much during the movie? Like, is Turkish Delight really that good? I'm just going to keep eating. This is now candy ASMR. Other Turkish Delight is a small layer of chocolate with a soft gelatin in the middle. Some people like it, others don't. I too dislike black licorice. I literally had the actual root itself and preferred it over the candy. See, now I'm actually starting to get M&Ms that are starting to slightly taste like Jolly Ranchers. Skittles, Smarties, and M&Ms. I don't have any Smarties in here. I know my sisters have 2 other bags downstairs. One of them got Smarties, and I wonder if the other one has Skittles itself. But Skittles, out of all the candies I've eaten in my life, Skittles are my favorite. The only kind that I can't really eat all the time is sour Skittles, because I had an experience with sour Skittles where I ate so many of them that it actually, the sour salt on it actually ate through my tongue and caused it to bleed constantly. And it put me off from eating that for a very long period of time. What about Chew-Its? I don't think I had Chew-Its. Like over the course of my life, I had different types of Skittles. Tropical flavor, ice cream flavor. Do you have Snickers, Mars, and Maltesers? I have a Snickers here. Reese's, Jolly Rancher, Lollipops. Pink lemonade. Ooh, there's a lot of suckers in here. Look at all these suckers in here. There's a chocolate flavor, pink lemonade, and watermelon. And I got a bunch of... Okay, some of these are actually sticking to one another. I don't like that. Why are some of these candies sticking to one another? Cherry flavored Twizzlers. Do you have dairy milk in America? If not, you're missing out. Best chocolate out there, and plus puts Hershey's to shame. Dairy milk. I don't think we do. Like, we have regular milk, but I don't think we have the candy called dairy milk itself. I don't think we have that, unfortunately. I really want to go to different countries and just try out their candies one day. Just try out different foods from different countries, to be honest. Because, you know, a cheeseburger and a hamburger can only get you so far. I want to try authentic, prepared right in front of you sushi. I want to try different cuisines from different countries. Because food is good. There's a lot less sugar in our candies. Oh, I'm definitely going to have to come down to the UK one day and try out some candies, or order some and try that out. Well, another one bites the dust. Even with less sugar, it's still nice. And another one go, yeah, another one go. Another one bites the dust. Oh, we got a big one. What is this? I thought this was like part of the bag. Pretzels. Bats and Jacks. Bats and Jacks shaped pretzels. You know what? I haven't had pretzels in a while. Might as well eat these. There are a few American stores here where we can get American candy. Yep. Bat-shaped pretzels. This is my first time eating a pretzel in over, like, I want to say 2 years. Oh, boy. I've missed these. Reese's is something from America that I like. Oh, you mean these type of Reese's? I've always been partial to the white chocolate flavored Reese's myself. A coworker of mine calls white chocolate discount vanilla. Ooh, another thing about pretzels. They're very good. When me and my family lived in Germany, one of my mom's favorite foods to eat as a snack was these white chocolate covered pretzels. I forget who did them, but they were fudge color. They were white chocolate fudge covered pretzels, and they were very, very addictive and very good. Have I ever had dark chocolate? Yes, I have. I don't like it as much as milk chocolate, but it's still good. This went from a stream about reflecting on One Piece to a stream of us talking about candy and me just eating food on stream. What have I done? I have no regrets, though. I was kind of hungry before I did this stream. Plus, all this food has helped coating the back of my mouth a little bit, kind of offsetting the dryness I have whenever I speak long periods of time. It's Halloween. You got to talk about candy or sweets if you're British. All right. So going down the list, before I stopped chewing gum, because after a while, I didn't like the way it made my teeth felt. It felt like after you're done chewing gum and you don't have it, it feels like your teeth are super sensitive. And when you do like that, it's like it's very, very fine. Not only that, but not that many gums out there that can keep their flavor and hold it down for a long time. The types of gum I ate in my past was, it was Hubba Bubba Max, and they had different flavors. And one was a LeBron James Lightning Lemonade flavor, which was by far one of the juiciest pieces of gum I ever had the pleasure of chewing on. Hubba bubba max, hubba bubba max. Oh, no gonna bubble. I remember that commercial. But among my favorite types of gum to chew back then was the LeBron James Lightning Lemonade flavor and the citrus flavor 5 gum. Both of them I liked a lot because the flavor stayed with the gum no matter how long you chewed on it. So it was extremely tasty. And long lasting too. It was good. We had different commercials. Yeah. I remember seeing the Hubba Bubba Max commercials like that. I'm thinking of the one where it's a polar bear and a penguin, and they're talking about how good the gum is, and the penguin blows a bubble and it just floats away. The flavor stayed. What is this witchcraft? I don't know. It stayed for almost an hour in length. And that was just with one piece. It was a really good type of gum. But alas, I no longer eat gum anymore. Well, chew gum anymore. One piece. I'm just not caught. I caught that myself. Then we got Wappas. You know, it is Halloween. Might as well talk about candy for a little while. Well, not too long, because I actually want to do a stream later of me playing Resident Evil 2. Because I haven't even started that game, but I want to play it. Do we have Toblerone? Not in this bag, but we do have them. We got regular Toblerones. What is a Whopper? Oh, okay. So, do you know what a Milk Dud is? Real quick, do you know what a Milk Dud is? If you know what that is, then it's pretty much the same thing, except... Okay, so what it essentially is, it's a malted milk ball. So it has like a... It's a wafer-like ball, small wafer-like ball, that is covered in chocolate. Actually, you know what? It's best if I show you. And I never liked the opening for these things. Okay. So, it looks like this. And if you bite into it, hold on. It looks like this on the inside. So it's like a wafer in there, a malted wafer surrounded by chocolate. Seems a bit like Maltesers. I feel like that's what they are. They just call them a different name here in America. And Milk Duds are pretty much the same. Except instead of it being malted in the middle, they have caramel in the middle. I'm not going to eat them now because I don't want to pile on too much chocolate. Plus, it's around a time where I normally eat lunch and I'm here eating candy. Don't worry, it's not going to ruin my appetite. But I am looking forward to eating these Jolly Ranchers. Do I have Arrow? That's a candy, right? If so, then I don't think so. It's not a candy that I've seen around in any of the stores that I've been to. Then again, I do need to go to some more obscure looking candy stores in order to kind of find them just a little bit. Okay, that's an unknown number. I will not answer. I refuse. Aero's chocolate that is bubbly on the inside. Oh, we have something similar like that. We call it a crunch bar. But the way that it's bubbly, it's like airy pockets of wafer. It's like a wafer bar, and it has like little bumps in the bar itself. It's not like bumps where it's like nuts or anything, even though there are versions of there out there like that. But the crunch bar itself is kind of like what you just described. And you know what? I haven't had a lollipop in no wafer, but it's bubbly chocolate. Oh, okay. So it's no wafer whatsoever. Okay. So in that case, what the heck? Why is this so sticky? I don't like that. I don't like sticky lollipop sticks. Fruit pastilles. I don't think we have those. Pretty sure that we don't have those. Lemon head, I will eat later because it's just a basic lemon gobstopper. Oh, quick question. Who here has had a Scrumdiddlyumptious bar? Those are some old Wonka candies. Sugar-coated gelatin fruit flavor is fruit pastilles. Oh, that's interesting. All these different candies I've never heard of. I'm going to have to look it up. Oh, speaking of candies, you guys never had one. Okay. So I never had one either. But back when Wonka was like one of the biggest names in candy, like it's not as relevant as it is today. Like its most relevant candies that it has today is pretty much its Everlasting Gobstoppers, its Smarties, its Sprees, and its Nerds candy. But the Scrumdiddlyumptious bar, they made a lot of the candy in the movie they made real. So the Scrumdiddlyumptious bar was one of them, and it's just like a massive milk chocolate bar. And then they made the Wonka bars, and I think one day they actually had a sweepstakes to get like an unlimited supply or a year's supply of Wonka candy, or like some sort of trip to some amusement park, and they actually put golden tickets in these Wonka bars. I remember because it was either in early 2000s or early 90s or late 90s when they actually did this promotion. I might be remembering it wrong, but I specifically remember them actually having an event that actually happened that way. Yes, watermelon stick. Unlimited supply of chocolate, diabetes. That is literally what Augustus Gloop was. He was a walking Austrian diabetes. He was Austrian diabetes. Or was he German? I want to say he was Austrian. See if there's any other candies. If I don't see anything else in here that piques my interest, I will ransack my sister's bags. Unfortunately, diabetes runs in my family, both my dad and granddad. No, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Are we good? Okay. It said it went unstable again for a second there, so I'm probably going to end it here in a few. I do enjoy these talks with you guys. It said that it was saying that the internet connection was unstable. That's why I was looking that way, because it just popped up right there at the top. But I do enjoy talking to you guys. You know, growing closer to my audience little by little is Cut out for 2 seconds. That's all. Okay, cool. But I do like talking to you guys. It's relaxing, it's fun, and I'm glad I'm able to interact with you guys this way instead of, just make a video and you guys don't hear from me for a couple of months. But I got nothing else to say other than happy Halloween, everyone. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. I know I am. I still got some things to do. I got to get this hair cut. My dad calls it a woolly mammoth when it gets this long. I prefer to have my hair shaved all the way. I look more, me personally, I feel like I look more presentable that way with a shaved head with a nice line in front. But plus, I need to go to Barnes & Noble. I need to check and see if there's any new volumes for any manga out. Upset One Piece wasn't scary today for Halloween. I'm actually surprised we didn't get like a colorful cover page art for Halloween, because Oda's been known to do like holiday themed pages. And I think we've had a One Piece page where they were in Halloween getup before. But lately, Oda hasn't been doing too many holiday-oriented cover pages lately. Now that you mention, is Halloween a thing in Japan? I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see. Halloween in Japan. With Halloween coming up, I've had several friends ask me how the holiday is conducted in Japan. Okay, with a long story short, the answer is yes. Is it different from how we do it? Okay, within the past 10 years, Japan as a whole has shown a gradual increase of interest in Halloween, and with that, an interest in commercial hype. Scenery, visuals, costumes that used to be only available for spectating at Tokyo Disneyland have become more common, but not as one might expect from Western countries. Trick-or-treating rarely happens in Japan. Almost always, the first thing people want to know is their trick-or-treating. Most definitely, when many of us Westerners think of Halloween, it is the first thing we think of. However, the practice of going from house to house, saying trick-or-treat, and accumulating mass quantities of candy is non-existent here. In my estimation, this lack of trick-or-treating in Japan is not going to change anytime soon, and here's why. As I mentioned before, the feeling of avoiding or being a pain bother to someone else is far too strong in Japanese people. Having to go around to people's houses to gather candy would be a huge inconvenience to many. Instead, Halloween in Japan is all about group dressing up. So if there isn't trick-or-treating in Japan, what Halloween is there to be had in the land of the rising sun? So we got a lot of pictures here of people cosplaying. No, not cosplaying, but in costumes. Fairy godmother, Egyptian queen, Marie Antoinette, and Na'vi from Avatar, and multiple people from The Wizard of Oz. The appeal of Halloween in Japan lies in two things: commercialism and costumes. Many fanatics of cosplay find the idea of dressing up very appealing, and this is an especially popular mindset among those Harajuku and the otaku crowd in general. Taking this into consideration, this means that Halloween ends up being mostly for adults who want to dress up. Costume parties become a focus for places serving alcohol and the like around late October. So, yeah, they only celebrate it by just kind of dressing up a little bit. Like the fact that America has no idea what Bonfire Night is in the UK. What's Bonfire Night? Enlighten me as a Westerner who knows nothing about the intricate holidays and the festivities of different... Look it up. Right. I got a computer right here. Let's find out what it is. Bonfire Night. Guy Fawkes Night 2019 in United Kingdom. Oh! Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Day, Bonfire Night, and Firework Night, is an annual commemoration observed on 5th of November. Oh, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. That's it. Okay. I like that. I like Bonfire Night. Basically, the basis for V for Vendetta, but a lot more awesome. Giant effigy of Don Burkow to be burned on Bonfire Night by famous society. You know, because of that, I might want to watch V for Vendetta again. Just because. Is there any games out there that makes you feel like you're V? There's got to be some game out there that makes you feel at least close to V. We basically celebrate a guy who failed to destroy Parliament with gunpowder. It's pretty gutsy move there, trying to destroy Parliament with gunpowder. So every year we light a bonfire and set of fireworks. Makes you wonder what would have happened if he actually succeeded. Songs, guys in decline, similarities with other customs. Every year, oh, it's almost seeming like we wanted him to succeed by celebrating it. Ain't that funny how that works? You celebrate the day a guy actually tried to destroy your way of government. Literally, completely destroy it just by blowing it up. Often forget about V for Vendetta. Yeah, I sometimes forget, and then I see it posted in my YouTube recommendations, even though I sometimes don't watch their videos for like weeks or months at a time. It'll be like, hey, remember this? Remember V for Vendetta? Remember ideas are bulletproof? Watch it, says your brain. Watch it. I want to go to sleep. Watch it. The rhyme is something we learn as kids. I would have liked to learn that type of rhyme in elementary school. All we ever learned was nursery rhymes, like from Mother Goose and stuff like that. And learning how Christopher Columbus discovered America, even though how can you discover something that already has people on it? The first person to discover America. Now, the first person from, what is it, Britain to actually find a place not on the map? I just feel like the history of America is just backwards. It's known as Guy Fawkes Night, but it's more commercially known as Bonfire Night. I feel like the history, like only in America can we write in the history books that we discovered America and then paved the way for innovation, while at the same time pretty much ostracizing the people who were here first and almost completely wiping them out. And then painting in a light as if, oh, we paved the way for America to be the way it is now. Let's just forget all the people that we've paved over. Do you only study American history? No, I actually try to vary it up and look up different histories of different places. We learn world history. Yeah, we didn't just learn American history, but I just feel like American history as a whole has a very narrow-minded view of how it sees its rise throughout the centuries. Because let's be honest here, America has not been known to share. Because think about it. When people started settling in America, there was already in school, we are taught more about world history rather than our own country. If only that was the case for actual American classes. See, you're taught. See, the thing for me was when I was in public school before our mom took us out and she became a certified teacher and taught us in homeschooling. Most of our history came through just learning about American history. Sure, we'll learn about a little bit of countries here and there, but we wouldn't devote too much time to it. It was only when I was living in Germany that I actually learn as much German history as I did American history, even more so German than actual American history back then. Now, of course, some of it may be a bit obscure to me since it's been well over 15 years since I've been in Germany, but it's not something. Learning about different countries' history and their traditions and how people do things differently than in the Americas in America is not something I want to say public schools try to. I want to say back when I was in school, it wasn't history teaching wasn't as diversified as it could have been. Like, let's learn about history, let's learn about the founding fathers and yada yada and Independence Day and all the stuff we already know. And well, let's learn about other countries. Oh, we'll learn a little bit about them, but then we got to go back to learning about how this Declaration of Independence was signed. I just felt like they really like to fall back on the history of America rather than try and teach us about other countries. Because history paints a different picture. It'll say lots of things like who it was that paved the way for everything. Study Jack the Ripper for British history, but World Wars for world history as my main history assignments. See, we didn't get assignments like that when I was in public school before. We got tame stuff. We didn't learn about any famous killers. We didn't learn about any famous tragedies or anything like that. The only time we actually got to learning about certain types of tragedies is if we learned it in the library or if it was Black History Month and they replay the same they replay the video with Martin Luther King and the movies that are associated with him. But tragedy was not something that was really enforced back when I was younger and was learning about. I'm trying to get all my I'm getting my watermelons. The rise and fall of USSR. Like, we didn't learn about war. We didn't really learn too much about World War II and like the Third Reich. And like, we learned a little bit about Hitler and like other types of individuals during that time, but we didn't really focus too much on that subject matter. Now, granted, this was in elementary school, so I guess they didn't think that we were ready for that. I don't know. We learned world history here as well. I've always found world history exciting and intriguing. It's just that many people often forget about or don't care about many of the details as they get older. We don't have Black History Month. I always wonder what that was when I saw it on American shows. Well, it's basically a month where we African Americans celebrate, us being able to celebrate, because back in the day, way back in the day, people of our skin color was really often, well, you already know, people were often ostracized because of our skin color. We were treated differently because of our skin color. We were saw as lesser because of our skin color. And so when it came time for us to, back in the day when we were slaves to people, when it came for our own independence and when people started to actually become free and then slavery started to become banned and you couldn't do it anymore, that's when we started to celebrate the point where we could actually do things for ourselves. Like back in the day, we had way back in the days, like in the 1800s and beyond, we had like, hey mom, I'm talking about world history, because one of my viewers, they don't really have Black History Month, so they wanted to know what it was like, so I'm just kind of explaining it to them. I'm not going into deep detail. I'm just explaining to them the basic.